Hello everyone, Spoons Rattling here. Welcome to my new series, Scrub Paints Blank for the first time. In this series, I'll be following tutorials from excellent painters like Midwinter Minis, Duncan Rhodes, and Games Workshop themselves, to show what results a newish painter can get from watching these videos. In this episode, I'm following Duncan Rhodes' videos on Pre-Heresy Alpha Legion, even though this is a full trader. Tomato. Ugh. We start by painting the whole model a bright silver after spraying with Leadbelcher. Duncan recommended Stormhost Silver by Games Workshop, but I made do with Liquidex Iridescent Silver mixed with Vallejo Metal Medium, now Liquitex. This will help bring out the metallic green-blue the Alpha Legion is known for. For this, I just used a big brush to get it all over. Just make sure the paint is thinned to not clog detail. If you notice paint gunking things up, just try to run your brush over it a couple times. It happened to me, and that fixed the problem. But that covers the first step. Now here's what it looks like after painting it all silver. Now, it seems no different, until next to another Chaos Marine, just sprayed with Leadbelcher. Here you can really see the difference. And by the way, I tested dry brushing on another model later down the line, and got similar results, so maybe keep that in mind. And here's one last look at the model to see what it fully looks like. And with that, we can move on to the next step. In the next step, as per the video I'm trying to replicate, which is linked in the description, we use Games Workshop's Gryph-Charger Gray contrast paint, which is a grayish blue color, to add some definition to the detail and a slight blue tint to that bright silver base coat. Also, pro tip to keep Games Workshop's paints from drying out like they are known to do, make sure you hear 2 solid clicks when closing the pot, otherwise stuff will get everywhere and air can leak in. Anyways, back to where we were. Paint this all over the armor plates and the trim, so just treat this like a wash, essentially. Don't let it pool and spread it everywhere. Unlike I did for some reason, where I just closed it, and I'm not sure why. And here you can see me fiddling with the autofocus, since it was a pain and I forgot to edit it out, to be honest with you. Overall, this step, if any, can be skipped, as I did by accident on some models I did later. Though it does make the model easier to look at and more readable while you apply the next color. Again, just don't let it pool and let it fully dry before you move on. And now, from here is the main color, Achillean Green contrast paint. This is the main paint used by Duncan in the video, and I personally love this color. It's a wonderful shade of bluish green, and over the silver, let me tell you, it practically shades itself. Much like the last step, you want to get this all over the model's armor plates, but try and avoid the trim, just to keep things simple. But honestly, another point, don't paint over an area twice. Let it fully dry before you do that, because if you do, it tears up the paint and it makes it dry with a weird finish. But we all make mistakes, so you'll probably do it a couple times. This is just the nature of certain contrast paints. Now, this is the longest section, so just take your time and hit everywhere with that brush. Don't forget under the power pack. I tend to do that. And please, don't worry about any mistakes you make, because that's what the detailing step, which is the next step by the way, is there to do. So, now that... And now that we finished up with the Achillean Green, as you can see, with this turnaround, it looks a little bit patchy, which is okay. sometimes it happens. If you really feel like it's not strong enough, simply go back over it and do a second coat. Those will make it significantly darker. As you can see here, I'm touching up with the trim with the original silver color. Just take your time here, because it really helps this model to stand out with that strong contrast between the blue and the silver. You get what I mean? So now, while my past self paints in the background, I want to go into the thought process behind this video series. A while back, I saw a post about someone feeling pretty bad about how their first mini came out, because they had watched all the different tutorials, like from Goober Town and Midwinter Minis and so on. And, you know, they felt like they just weren't good. But I wanted to show that even with as many tutorials as you can watch, you still need to practice those skills yourself. Otherwise, ultimately, it's not really going to matter. So, once you watch these tutorials that gives you an idea and an end goal, keep in mind your first time painting isn't just going to look like the Heavy Metal team or Midwinter Minis, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, like a game, our muscle memory grows and we get better and develop our own style. By the way, I'll admit, I'm not a total newbie. I've been painting for just under a year now, or at least painting seriously. But I'm most certainly a scrub to the Agents of Chaos. Now, as I touched on earlier, you just want to take your time and go around the model and correct any blue armor on the trim. Since the silver really helps these models stand out, you'll also want to pick out the knuckles, just for that extra bit of contrast. Just gently tap your brush tip to them, and that should easily cover them. Then do a once over and make sure you've got everything. It's 100% worth it. Now, I don't have much else to say, so I'm just going to leave the painting to speak for itself and let you guys listen to the music before I start talking again. But just remember, hit all that trim, get the knuckles. It'll be worth it, I promise. Now, to finish this off, since Duncan ended the tutorial here, I'll cover the rest. Get some gold paint for the bullets on the bolt gun, bright green for all the eyes on the one on his bolt gun, his eyes, and his knee pad, purple and red mixed together, or something like Screamer pink for the dangly crotch flag. Thanks, Penny. Black paint for the bolt gun, brown paint for his various belts and holsters, and black and brown wash. Black wash for the joints, chainmail, and leather bits, and brown wash for the bullets. The brown wash makes the gold much warmer and it looks fantastic, so don't skimp on that. An optional step is to rewash the silver trim with black wash or Drift Charger Gray. I'll leave that choice to you. About 30 minutes more, roughly, of hands-on painting. You get this. Now, I will admit, it's not as clean as Duncan's or Gaming Workshop, and that's okay, because we all start somewhere. And in total, this marine only took me 1 hour and 6 minutes, so it's truly a speed paint. Everyone after this gets faster and faster, and I'm super happy with the results. But anyways, here it is next to Duncan's, and here it is next to Games Workshop's. I think it came out pretty great for a first try, but hey, that's just me. This has been a Scrub Paints Alpha Legion. I'm Spoons Rattling, your host, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel, and even leave a comment. And if you want to see my ugly mug, I even have a Twitch. Come hang out sometime. See ya.